Alright, so we've got an update to the Conor McGregor situation, and this is getting interesting, man. Getting interesting. We have somebody else coming forward and giving their statement on what happened that night. Really interesting, but we also have Conor McGregor's DNA was taken, and it's been confirmed. But I mean, Conor himself stated that they did have sex and it was consensual. Before we get into it, I just want to do my usual spiel. If you like the video, subscribe. November has been probably November and October has been the best 2 months on this channel, and all I can do is thank you guys for the support. Whether you're liking the content, commenting, subbing, it all helps. So, thank you. Now, let's get into this. So, there we go. So this is coming from Irish Independent. Everything was fine. Other women in Penthouse didn't see or hear Nikita Hand's alleged assault by Conor McGregor. A woman who was in the Penthouse Hotel suite where Nikita Hand claims to have been assaulted by mixed martial artist star Conor McGregor has told the High Court everything was fine when they both emerged from the bedroom after the alleged attack. Daniel Keeley, a work colleague of Miss Hand, who had been in the adjoining sitting room, said she did not know what happened in the bedroom of the suite. They came out and everything was fine, she said. Miss Keeley continued, everything was fine, Noah. No one was in bad form or anything. I didn't know anything bad had happened. She was giving evidence as defense witness in a civil action taken by Miss Hand, 35, a hair colorist from Drimna again in Dublin against McGregor, 36, and his associate James Lawrence. Mother of one hand is seeking damages, claiming she was assaulted by both men in a penthouse suite at the Beacon Hotel in Sandyford, Dublin, on December 9th, 2018. Under examination from McGregor's counsel, Remy Farrell, Miss Keeley gave evidence that she and Miss Hand worked for the same hair salon business at the time, but in different salons. She worked in Naas while Hand worked in Goatstown, Dublin. Miss Keeley said she did not know Miss Hand well as she had not met her very often, only at training days. Both women were at staff Christmas parties on December 8th, 2018, which took in a winter circus at Airfield in Dundrum, the Goat Bar and Grill in Goatstown, and then continued in the Goatstown Salon itself into the early hours of the morning. Miss Keeley said not until the end of the night that she heard of Conor McGregor's name being mentioned. Alright, so now we're getting into it. I don't know. I've read this twice. I'm struggling with it. I'm going back and forth. Again, we'll get into it once I read the whole thing. Um, she said that Miss Hand had been chatting to Mr. McGregor on Instagram, and she became aware an arrangement had been made for him to collect them. Miss Keeley said Mr. McGregor arrived with a car and driver. She and Miss Hand got into the back seat with him, and they drove around, stopping at two houses. She said Mr. Lawrence came out of the second house, and the group then went on to the hotel. She agreed with Mr. Farrell that they arrived sometime around midday on December 9th. The court heard there, there were two rooms in the penthouse separated by interconnecting doors. One was a bedroom, the other a sitting room with a large sofa. Asked about the mood in the penthouse, she replied everything was fine. Drinks were brought up to the penthouse, Miss Kiwi said. She said she thought she had vodka. Miss Kiwi agreed with Mr. Farrell that at some point McGregor and Miss Hand went into the bedroom. She agreed with Mr. Farrell that she stayed in the sitting room with Lawrence, that she had, and she, that she had sex with him. She agrees condoms were used. Miss Keeley said everything seemed fine when Miss Hand eventually came out of the bedroom. She could not remember if she came out more than once. In answer to questions from Mr. Farrell, she said she did not notice any bite marks on Mr. McGregor or bruises on Miss Hand. The court has seen CCTV evidence of her leaving the hotel with McGregor around 6 p.m. She said she had asked for a lift as her phone was broken and they both lived in Cocodale, oh my god. Miss Keeley said that she was leaving she said goodbye to Miss Hand and gave her a hug. She said Miss Hand wanted everyone to stay. Her next contact with Miss Hand was when Miss Hand messaged her from the Rotunda Hotel on December 10th. Miss Hand told her she had been assaulted. I was surprised because I didn't see anything, she said. Miss Kiwi said Miss Hand told her to delete the messages. Earlier, the court heard that DNA matches for Conor McGregor were obtained from semen swabs taken from Miss Hand's vagina and the black jumpsuit she had been wearing. Dr. Charlotte Murphy of Forensic Science Ireland said the profiles were 1,000,000,000 times more likely to be a match for Conor McGregor than not. However, she said Mr. McGregor Associate James Lawrence was excluded as a possible contributor to the DNA profile obtained. Dr. Murphy also gave evidence that, in her opinion, a rip strap on the jumpsuit was not from wear and tear but pulling. Both men claimed they each had consensual sex twice with Miss Hand, but she alleges she was brutally assaulted and battered by McGregor and has no memory of any sexual involvement with Lawrence. Right there, too, I feel like again, maybe she is telling the truth, but I feel like she would tie them both in. Like, if he is admitting that he had sex with her twice, I always, okay, again, she was on all these substances, but yeah. In her evidence, the presence of semen or absent doesn't address the issue of consent. It is not possible to scientifically address that. Dr. Murphy also said DNA may or may not transfer during sexual contact. The forensic scientist was one of the final witnesses to be called by Miss Hand's legal team. Three other witnesses today gave evidence which may have a bearing on Miss Hand's claim for damages against both men, including damages to cover the cost of relocating from Grimna and for loss of earnings. Patrick Sheehan, a property valuer, he had valued a three-bedroom house co-owned by Miss Hand in Grimna at $430,000. He told her barista saloon Leonowitz, God, why can't you have a normal name? That he had become asked to provide guide prices for similar properties in other areas, including Shankill and Cabinteely. They were all coming in over 500,000 to 700,000. He said. Alva Breen, a vocalist assessor, told the court said Miss Hand had attempted to return to work in a hair salon 2 months after the alleged events in the hotel, but was unable to stay working there. She said the workplace became intolerable for Miss Hand. She was struggling with significant anxiety and panic attacks and having a customer-facing role, said Miss Breen, who assesses her as not being fit for such employment in December 2020. The assessor said that while Miss Hand had tried to return to the workforce, first as a cleaner and later in another salon, she ended up handing in her notice after short periods. Miss Breen and Miss Hand working in a salon extremely anxiety provoking and extremely triggering. She said she did not believe Miss Hand could return to the type of work she had been doing up to December 2018, but could do any entry-level administrative job that was not facing customers. Actuary Peter Byrne told Miss Leonowitz he had calculated Miss Hand's potential loss of earnings up to the age of 66 at £962,665. This was based on her never returning to work. If she did take up part-time administrative work, he calculated her loss of earnings at 575,868. Mr. Byrne also calculated that Miss Hand had missed out on earnings of $174,585 up to August of this year as a result of being unable to work. The trial is continuing before a jury of 4 men and 8 women. I'm not gonna say anything, but based on that jury, I think that makes this trial harder for Conor to win. Earlier in the case, the jury was shown evidence of extensive bruising on Miss Hand's body in the aftermath of the alleged events. They also heard during the course of the Christmas party, Miss Hand consumed beer, Bacardi, and Coca-Cola. Miss Hand gave evidence she decided she wanted to continue partying. She had been in communication with Mr. McGregor, who she knew via Instagram, during the party, and he came in a car driven by a security guard to pick up Miss Kiwi from the salon around 10:15 on December 9th. Miss Hand has given evidence that on the way to the hotel, Lawrence was picked up from his home. She alleges Mr. McGregor choked her 3 times and violently assaulted her in the bedroom of the penthouse. In the hours that followed, the lawyers for Mr. McGregor and Lawrence maintained that CCTV footage from the hotel later that day was not consistent with their claims. In the footage, a barefoot Miss Hand could be seen accompanying Mr. McGregor, Mr. Lawrence, and Miss Kiwi in the lift down from the penthouse to the underground car park. Around 6 p.m., where Mr. McGregor and Miss Kiwi departed. Further footage showed her in the lift padding Lawrence on the backside, hugging him and kissing him on the cheek. At different points, she could be seen stumbling. At one stage, she was sat on the floor of the elevator. Miss Hand has said she had no memory of the events shown in the CCTV and maintained she was drunk, high on drugs, in a state of delay shock. Mr. Lawrence claims they subsequently had sex twice in the penthouse that evening. Miss Hand described this account as a made-up story and said her next memory was of her waking up in a taxi on her own later that night. Alright, so we got through all of that, right? And so no way you put it is this gonna work good for Conor at all. Absolutely no way. But the fact that the doctor confirmed it's pretty much McGregor's DNA doesn't change much because Conor did admit he did sleep with this woman. But the fact that you have CCTV cameras showing her accompanying McGregor, accompanying this other guy, showing affection to them, I don't know, it's really hard. However, I'm not trying to be sexist here. The fact that there are 8 women on that stand will make it insanely hard for Conor to defend himself if there was no wrongdoing. But I also want to see if they will ever release photos of these assaults and how the doctor at the ER will corroborate this. But anyway, so that's all I got for this one. I don't know, dude. Like I said in my other videos and my shorts, I think this pretty much seals the deal on McGregor's return. Maybe I'm wrong. But let me know in the comments down below. What do you think? And yeah, thanks for watching. Later.